Hi, I'm Kyle Hinkle, Executive Director of the Brewster Chamber of Commerce. And joining me for today's show is Sharon Tenstead. She's a Brewster resident and volunteer. Welcome, Sharon.
Hello. Happy to be here.
Great. Each year before our annual Brewster and Bloom Festival, the Board of Directors of the Chamber sits down and works through the ideas for someone to be our Person of the Year. This person must be somebody who's volunteering to help improve our local and regional community. And Sharon is just that person. It's great that we've named her in this capacity this year. We're really pleased to do this. So, one of the things that I've learned about Sharon is that she does have a PhD, which is something she doesn't brag about and doesn't really want to brag about. But how did that come about, and what did you study?
Well, actually, it was in the late 70s, and I guess I'm dating myself. My background actually is in clinical mental health work, and BU at the time was offering a special program for professionals who were working full-time who wanted to earn a doctorate. And I joined that program in 1979. So I studied medical sociology since health and healthcare was my background. And I also minored in social gerontology, which resulted in my long-time interest in older adults.
And you worked professionally, you told me, for 40 years.
I did, yeah. After I finished clinical work, I did research for 40 years and did a wide range of research from surveys and observational studies to multi-center national clinical trials.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fascinating. Really fascinating. So when did you move to Brewster?
Well, like Benny Washes Shores, we bought a home 21 years ago in Brewster, and we're here as frequently as we could be for about 10 years until we retired. So we've been here full-time for 11 years.
All right. That's wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you and I first met, you were president of the Garden Club of Brewster, and that was in 2018. So tell me what that experience was like.
Well, the Garden Club was probably one of the very first things that I volunteered for or joined. I've had a lifelong interest in gardening, and because of my career, had actually fairly little time to do it. Right. So in thinking about what I was going to do after retirement, one of the first things I wanted to do was to join a garden club. Actually, I had fantasized about working at a garden center, but I decided that work was over. For me, I'd done enough of it. So I joined the Brewster Garden Club. And when you and I met, Kyle, I was the president of the Garden Club. And at the time, I was really concerned that Brewster didn't know much about what the Garden Club did locally. And, for a really good example of that is that no one knew who made and hung the swags at the holidays on all of the street signs on Route 6A.
Right.
So we undertook developing a strategic plan, and one of them was to increase our community presence. And that's when we joined the chamber. And made a lot of effort to let people of Brewster know who we were and what we do. And we've actually expanded that. We have a lot of new members. Probably half of our members now are new to the club since the COVID pandemic. And it's taking us in lots of new directions that I think is good for Brewster.
Yeah. And you mentioned the strategic plan. That's one of the things that I must say you specialize in.
I can do some planning. Yeah. And that took me actually to the Council on Aging Advisory Board, which was the second thing I volunteered for. As I mentioned, I had a major both clinical and research interest in older adults over the years. So I joined the Council on Aging Board I think 10 years ago. I was here for about a year before I joined that board and have been with it ever since. And one of the first things that I encouraged that board to do was to take what it had learned from a recent needs assessment and develop a 5-year action plan. The 5-year age-friendly action plan was what we called it. We're now on our second 5-year plan. We had another needs assessment done about 15 months ago, and last year at this time we were busy
with that.
Developing that second 5-year plan. Yeah.
That is really great because so many organizations don't do that. And it's having a good strategic plan that you can turn to is so valuable because you can actually say to somebody when they come up and say, I got this great idea. I want you to do this. And it's like, okay, well, we'll talk about it when we do our next strategic plan because right now it doesn't fit in this plan.
Or you have limited capacity,
right?
Which is definitely the situation for the Council on Aging and Senior Center in Brewster.
Yeah.
I mean, we have good staffing. We used our first 5-year action plan to make an argument to the town that we needed a full-time program coordinator and did get that position funded. But Brewster's population is old, as you know.
Yeah.
I just checked the most recent census data in town, and the 60-plus population remains at 53% of Brewster residents. That's much higher than you find elsewhere in the state and in the country.
Interesting. So not only are we dealing with that situation, but I think we're looking at people who are going to be looking for things to do, kind of like what you've been doing. And wow, what an opportunity for those of us that run organizations that can use volunteers.
That's true. And it actually led to, just this past year, I've become a member of the leadership group for Healthy Aging Cape Cod, which is a Barnstable County initiative. And it's to not only make the county age-friendly and dementia-friendly, but also to assist towns in doing the same and going after that national certification. And one of the activities that I'm involved with in that group is co-chairing a volunteer work group. We're trying to determine if there's a Cape-wide volunteer database. And there had been one that was run by the United Way that was actually quite robust about 10 years ago.
Yep.
It is still there, but it is not widely known nor used. And so we're hoping that we can work with the United Way to strengthen that database and get the word out so that people know that there is some central place on Cape where they can find volunteer opportunities.
That would be fabulous.
Yeah, we're hoping.
I remember when the United Way was getting that up and going.
Yeah.
And what it took to make that happen. It would be great to bring it back.
Yeah, it's there, and some organizations are using it, and I think that they are working very hard to improve the platform on which it runs, but it remains challenging, and so we actually have a meeting with them next week.
All right,
to talk about this and to see how it is that the county might work with them to further develop that. And then if we're able to do that, then to get the word out so people know where to look and to get organizations to list their volunteer opportunities really cool. In that database. Yeah.
I love it. I'll do it.
Yeah.
So I'm Kyle Hinkle from the Brewster Chamber of Commerce, and I'm talking with this year's Person of the Year, Sharon Tenstead. What are some of the other volunteer experiences that you have? I know that you're very involved with We Can.
Yes. Early on, after my retirement, is probably, it was a good 10 years ago. I was looking for things to do, and I wanted to see if there was some volunteer opportunity that was a good match for my professional experience and skills. And so I attended an open house at Weekend. Andy Genzer was then the executive director. And as she was talking about the various opportunities they had, she said to the group, "We really need to do something about our program evaluations." And I thought, okay, here it is. And so I talked to her about it, started immediately, and worked with them to develop a kind of standardized program evaluation system and procedures that could be used across all their programs. And they continued to use that. So I kind of head up the volunteer effort. I have a statistician who works with me and another volunteer who does a lot of data collection and data entry. It's been quite successful. And for me, it was a great opportunity because it made good use of my skills.
Yeah.
And it's been extremely important to them in terms of their ability to write grant applications and get funding for their programs.
Yeah.
So that one keeps me busy.
I bet it does.
Yeah.
Now, you've been involved with some of the town committees as well.
Yes. I think the first, other than the Council on Aging Board, which is a town board, I got involved with the Vision Planning Committee when they were, the town was about to develop its local comprehensive plan, which is a 10-year master plan for Brewster. And so I was on that committee. It was a good 3+ years amount of work to find out what residents wanted, what the priorities were in town for residents and for the town administration and staff, to write the plan and then take it to town meeting for approval, which happened about 1.5 years ago now. Again, I was able to use my experience because we did both an online and hard copy survey to find out what residents considered to be their priorities for how the town moved forward. And so I developed that survey with the committee, programmed it in the SurveyMonkey platform, and presented the results. And we moved from there to actually write the plan and take it to town meeting.
It took 2 attempts to get through town meeting.
It did.
Yeah.
It did.
I remember.
Yes. There were
But that's
some
all right.
major concerns around a proposed initiative for Wing Island, and which I think was only one small piece. A comprehensive plan is not a single issue plan.
Right.
It became a single issue for the town. And so the plan was not approved initially. We, after the select board decided, voted not to pursue any development of that boardwalk, we went back to work, revised the few portions of the plan that required revision to remove any reference to Wing Island or that boardwalk, and took it back to town meeting, and it was approved.
Yeah, that's what it took.
That's what it took.
That was quite a challenge.
It was. It took a lot of
Can be
energy.
Yeah. I can't imagine that the first time around wasn't very disappointing.
It was. I mean, our committee worked extremely hard on that initiative, and we made an argument that it was a comprehensive, not a single issue plan. But the town heard what residents had to say about that issue. So we went back to work.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
You did a great job. So I want to thank you very much for taking time to do this interview.
Oh, you're most welcome. And I want to thank you and the Chamber for recognizing my efforts with the town.
Worked really, really hard. You can see Sharon riding in the Brewster and Bloom Parade come May 4th on 2025. She will be in one of the cars up front, to waving to everybody, I hope. So, and thank you for watching and listening. For more information about the Brewster Chamber of Commerce, you can visit our website at brewster-capecod.com. Tune in again next time for more of the Best of Brewster.